Hi everyone, thanks for joining in for today's live. I had wondered what to do, but that's when I thought, hang on, why don't we ask everyone how long we should take off for the Christmas break, really? Last few years, I haven't really took that much off, and this year I'm going to do the same by the looks of things, just according off me bank balance. But you never know what the weather's going to do neither, do you? So I'll try and get it in when I can. Thankfully, my van went through last Thursday through the MOT, passed one a small advisory, so I got that done, and it had a service. So 236 quid, MOT service, one slight advisory was done. So I was very much more than happy with that. Last year it cost me 700. I haven't had anything go wrong on my van between that, apart from the fact that they needed some new wheels because they're leaking air through the welds because they're that old. But other than that, I hadn't spent any money on my van, so I was expecting a big bill. So I was well chuffed with that one. Could be worse. I mean, my van's 10 years old now. It has got a reconditioned engine in there. I've had that go on me before. So I'm hoping it will keep lasting me for a few more years at least anyway. Keep going, keep doing the servicing. But yeah, looking at some of the comments that have come through already, I just welcome everyone in. So you all right, Paul? All right, Mark? And Matt and Nelly? It seems Mark and Matt, they're both saying they're going to have like the 24th off until, was it the 4th? Sorry, 2nd of January. Yeah, both going back on the 2nd of Jan as well. So that's a nice break, isn't it? It's not too big. I know for me, that's what I'd ideally like, but I'm not doing that. For me, I'm working tomorrow like everyone else is the 23rd. I'm going to take the 24th off, the 25th, and the 26th. Then I'll be back at work on the 27th. And then I'll probably take New Year's Eve, New Year's Day off. And then, like everyone else, go back to the 2nd as normal for the rest of the year. It's just to basically get some cash flow going, really, because I never know what the weather's going to be like. Obviously, today's really windy, isn't it? Luckily, it's on a weekend and not during the week. And what I've got planned for tomorrow is there's just a handful of customers who've asked, can they get a clean in before Christmas, please? So I've booked all them in for tomorrow anyway. And then I was going to take my break then. And I'm just hoping that the weather's good because that's the other thing. So if the weather was bad tomorrow, I'd probably do it on the 24th instead just to keep my word. But it should be done. The wind's going to die down tomorrow, he says, according to the weather apps and that. So that's what I'm going to do for me break off. It surprised a lot of my customers when they ask how long you're taking off. Is that all? That's what they answer. But years beyond that, I even used to work all the way on Christmas Eve and just didn't work Christmas Day, Boxing Day, or New Year's Day. That was it. And I just carried on working. So I'm slightly getting there. I was thinking earlier in the month, if the money in the bank was really good, I would have took a big break off. So like everyone else is doing, Christmas Eve till about the 2nd or even the 4th of Jan is what I was thinking. But the way things are, I'm just going to get the extra money in because I never know what the weather's going to be like. I'd rather play safe. So that's what we're doing anyway. But I'll just go to the comments anyway. So Paul was just saying earlier, if you could see in the comments that's gone on, because of the high winds there, his internet is playing up. But he also come back with, seems okay now. So hopefully it's all good for you, Paul. I've got the weather here. So if the stream goes all funny, everyone, it's not me, it's the weather or the gremlins. And Mark's, like he's saying, 24th December till the 2nd. And he's looking forward to the break. Even though I'm not having as long as that, I'm looking forward to me break. I'm really looking forward to Christmas dinner and a beer. That's it. I'm easily pleased. You all right, Nelly, mate? And then Matt's saying the same, finished on 24th, back on the 2nd. And he's looking forward to his break as well. I think everyone is, really, aren't they? Tower Pro Clean, you all right, mate? Welcome to the live. All right, Agnes. Friday weather looking good. And Matt saying half a day in Christmas Eve. I've managed to do the whole month's window cleaning in just over 3 weeks. Nice one. So you got ahead. So you can take that time off. That's a bonus as well, isn't it? And you made everyone happy as well, haven't you? Because they've all got these cleans in before Christmas and family coming round and that. Hi, Marcus, saying hi at all. Having Christmas Day, Boxing Day off, then New Year's Day off. So you're doing the same as me, and you hate Christmas anyway. My kids probably think I hate Christmas. I'm not excited about it as they are. I was really excited though that my van got through the MOT all right. That's probably Christmas come early for me. Clear Vision saying as well, window cleaning 20th to the 6th, pulled some jobs forward for an extra long break. Well, I've got you, so you got ahead as well, mate. Yeah, it's nice to have a break. You always got a good break over Christmas if you weren't overseas when in the military, so kind of got spoilt with that. And then since I've been out and self-employed, it's just non-stop working. I used to work bank holidays as well. It was only last year and maybe the year before, I think, where we family have put the foot down and said take time off. So I've been doing that. You got to have time off, haven't you? But it's striking the balance. You got to get your bank balance right at the end of the day. Hopefully that'll be easier come April when I put my prices up as well. You probably feel all right for a year, and then the second year you won't feel all the benefit because the price of everything else is going up so much, innit? But yeah, it's Christmas, innit? And it's a funny time of year because we're thinking about taking time off for Christmas, and it's also a bad time of year where the weather stops you from working. Excuse me. So you worry about, if you haven't got enough money in the bank, what the weather's going to be as well. But if you've had a good few months on the trot and you've got your bank balance all right, you've got that buffer, then you can kind of afford to take more time off, really. That's the way I was looking at it. And I've had a good couple of months leading up to now. But then the old cash flow's gone a bit slow in it this time of year. Not owed too much, but I still am. It'd have been nice to have had that in. So that's why I'm going to work these few days in between, make sure I cover all my bases, really. And you never know what blinking January weather's going to be like, neither do you. Yeah, and I'm going round, like I said, been doing all the looking at the pricing of my customers. Some of the houses aren't too bad, actually. There's a couple that are way off, so we're going to bring them up. And then, so in line with everyone else, and then everyone's going to get a price increase in April. So see what the knock-on effect from all that is. I guess we worry more than we need to really about it. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting all that done. But I'd just be glad to get tomorrow out of the way, and then just think I've got at least 3 days, no messing around with the van, thinking of window cleaning, sorting out payments, invoices, all that stuff. Just switch off Christmas, which is busy enough to sort out, isn't it? And then, yeah, look forward to me Christmas dinner and me pint of beer. I'll be happy with that. But also, I don't know, everyone else, have you noticed Christmas tips this year compared to your previous years? This year was a bit slow to start with. We've had some come in. I haven't tallied it up, but I think it's less than other years. And I was expecting this last year, to be honest, but it didn't seem too bad. But this year, a definite change. So I think it's also a sign of the time with your customers, isn't it? And I suppose it depends. The customers that you get to clean in the build up to Christmas are going to be different from different years as well, aren't they? But we've had a big tip off an elderly customer of mine. Sorry, the screen's just gone funny. I thought it was a power cut from the wind, but it's not. It's you wouldn't have noticed it, but I have on my telly, which is my monitor. But yeah, we got a really big tip from 2 elderly customers, and that's obviously for me, Matthew, Sophie, and my wife as well. And didn't even know until I opened the card. So I've got to go and say thank you in a very nice way. I don't want to offend them. So yeah, I'm going to get some chocolates, bottle of wine, and some flowers from them, I suppose. So yeah, that's what I've noticed for the lead up to Christmas anyway. And yeah, some people are quite happy, but everyone's the normal thing, innit? All the towns are really busy. The shops, the supermarkets are not a good time to go in. So I'll just go to some of these comments coming in. Mark's, yeah, sorry, just saying I have my time off when the weather is so bad I can't work anyway. That's what I joke to the kids, saying that's the only time I get off is when the weather's too bad. But I don't really get off at the time. I'm probably outside in the rain and the wind fixing things that I don't normally get the chance to fix with in the van with me freezing cold hands and all that lot. But yeah, I hear you. Matt's saying over £300 in tips this year. That's good going, mate. And yeah, Nelly saying, yeah, good point. Go cardless kills the Christmas tips. Uh, I've had some customers send me some tips actually, just as a bank transfer. So they've done it separate to the windows, or they've added a bit on extra with the windows and let me know. So that's very kind of them as well. I never expect tips like all of you probably, but it sort of reminds you of your paper round, doesn't it? And it's really nice when you get some tips. And what we do, I've said to the kids all the time since we've started, the money goes into a pot. I just put it all in there. And then what we'll do Christmas Day at some point, I'll like open it up, count it all out, and then we just divide it amongst ourselves equally. And that's what we do because I like it to be a surprise. And it is a nice surprise sometimes, isn't it? And you put it towards something you got your eye on, like another car. I don't have the tips to cover that, but that's what mine will be going towards, and my wife's. We're looking at cars within a budget and all that lot. We're looking around at them. We had a look at two today, but we're going to go and have a test drive of them on the 24th. So I'm not working, bonus, and just see what happens there. But yeah, it's be nice to get rid of this year, really, wouldn't it? I don't know about you guys. I think it's about the first 6 or 7 months of the year weren't really that great. There's a lot of days I couldn't work because of the weather. We've had a hell of a lot of rain where I am, and it's a mess with the fields, and the farmers must be a lot worse off. Because I know later on in the year you see them digging out the potatoes, they're rotting in the ground before they can even plant anything. So definitely feel for them. And hopefully this next year ain't going to be the repeat of this year. But we'll see. I'm expecting it to be pretty much the same. The climate's all changing, isn't it? It's messing things up. And yeah, as long as I can have a few good months on the bounce like the last couple of months have been, I'll be a lot happier myself, and I'll have that buffer. So I won't worry so much rather than being a bit close to the bone. And at least my van's got a ticket for another year, so long as nothing else goes wrong in between, that is. So I'm looking forward to seeing this year off and then getting into a new one. And yeah, a lot of my customers have had, I think it's been not a good year for them. People passing away and things like that in their family. So I think a lot of people are trying to see the back of this year. And hopefully next year's better, but we don't know what it's going to be like, do we? As long as we've got the windows to clean and I'm busy. But the weather as well, isn't it? I mean, we had that really cold spell, didn't we? And it was really cold. Then it weren't too bad. But the last few days, it's been cold, and it's felt really cold with the higher winds we've had. You definitely feel it on my hands with the gloves on. Sometimes I need 2 pairs of gloves, but around 10 o'clock, it's not too bad. But you can feel it now, and it's starting, I'm noticing, get darker a lot earlier in the afternoon. It's about 3:30. You're thinking it's 4 o'clock because you can see it starting to go down. So I'll get all my cleans in tomorrow. One of them's inside and outside as well. So that's going to take the most of our time, job-wise anyway. But as long as I crack that one in, it shouldn't knock on the others too much. And I just want to get everyone done. If not, at least I can overspill onto the 24th. But hopefully I'll get everything done so the 24th is completely off because I've got to go and look at some cars too. And yeah, that's me. And I don't know, what have you got? Mainly the same thing, Christmas? It seems like 24th to the 2nd of Jan. Some of you doing what I'm doing, just taking a few days off. Then you're going back to work, and then you'll take a day off for New Year's or New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and then just back. It's like normal, innit? No one seemed to bat an eyelid when I used to work bank holidays anyway. And yeah, it's just nice to get to routine. I find if I don't work for a few days, I don't even know what day of the week it is. So at least with working, it gives me some form of structure. Probably another sign I'm getting old. Sorry, some of the comments are not coming in through my Ecamm Live. Okay, one's just come through. Oh, right, okay, Matt, that'll explain what I've just said. Matt's just saying the shortest day was yesterday. And it was yesterday when I was driving around in the afternoon, and it was about 3:30, and I was thinking, God, this is dark, and I was a bit shocked. It seemed earlier than what I thought, so that'll explain that. Thanks, Matt. So the positive sign is then from this day or that day going forward, the days are going to start getting longer. So it's going to start becoming easier to squeeze your work in a day rather than it getting a bit tight. So I got through probably one of the worst parts of the year in terms of daylight to get your work done. And then probably as the days get longer, the weather's going to get worse until we hit like real good summer time. But yeah, that's pretty much me. And that's why I thought I'd ask everyone, what are you doing? What sort of times do you normally take off for Christmas? Or this year, are you having more time off than you've done previous years? Because you just simply got ahead of the time, or your bank balance is a bit healthy. And then the thing is as well, I think if you take too much time off, you end up doing more prep for Christmas, don't you? At least when you're working, you sort of get out of the way of all that. Secrets coming out now, so I'll be in trouble later. But it's getting there, isn't it? And then yeah, see what the weather's like. I don't know. Maybe I'll get a hot water system for Christmas. Don't think so. And with having to get the funds for a new car, I think that sort of thing's going to just keep stretching away from me and probably never happen. But it'd be nice to have some hot water this year. That'd be my aim, save enough money for that. Who knows? You have these goals, don't you? But other things come up. And then you've got to take money out of one pot for something else, and then you owe the other thing. That's what I tend to find I'm doing. But we're getting there. Could be worse. And yeah, I'm always amazed to get these Christmas tips. Can't believe it. It's like I say, don't expect it. It's nice when it happens. Be nice to find out what we've got anyway. Like I said, and the kids put it towards something they're saving up towards as well. And you know what I mean? It's always really nice. And you get the cards or get a bottle of wine, anything like that. It's really good. So I wonder what the postmen have been like this year compared to other years for them as well. Yeah, it's everyone's sort of struggling, aren't they? With the cost of living going up so much. It's probably, like I said, I've said to my wife, if the Christmas tips aren't going to be as good as other years, it's probably going to be a bad indication that it's probably not a good time to put your prices up. But I've got to. We all have to, really, don't we? And only sort of, well, it just shows you how important it is to put your prices up, really, to keep going. Otherwise, you're going to struggle. And you don't want to struggle. We work hard. It is hard work doing window cleaning, driving around. It's unbelievable how much time you lose on a day's window cleaning from driving around, setting up and packing away. A lot more than what you actually think, put it that way. So that's also something to factor in with your pricing, isn't it? Or when people say, oh, you're only here on this much an hour, and you're like, as we all know, you're not. You've got lots of things that come out of that. And if I was on that much an hour doing a 9-hour day, you know, I probably don't need to work after a few years. It's not as easy as that, is it? But yeah, see what happens. I hope everyone's going to have a nice Christmas anyway. Like I say, a few days just to completely switch off from window cleaning. And then we've got another like 360 days probably to think every day about window cleaning until your next time to switch off from window cleaning. Does anyone take holidays as well through the year in between Christmas? And I don't mean like your bank holidays. I mean like where you go away for a family holiday for a week or every 2 weeks, anything like that. It's be interesting. It's something I'd love to be able to do, but at the moment it's just work. Because as mentioned before, you get your time off when the weather's bad, really. So you end up not being able to afford to take a week or 2 weeks off to go on a family holiday because you've got to pay for that as well as not working it. So, but it'd be nice to be able to do that. And I'm sure your customers would totally get it, especially when you've been cleaning the windows for a few years. They'd completely understand. They say you got to have a holiday. You can't just keep work. I know I get told that. So see what happens. Maybe one time. Depends what the weather's like for the rest of the world, innit? Knowing me, I'll have a holiday somewhere for a week and it'd just be absolutely chucking it down and it'll be like the best week of the year here. And I'll be like, I could have been getting more work done. Nellie's saying Canary Islands, 2 weeks, mid-January. Oh, nice one. So you have a very short break. I take it. I can't see what your comment was. Time off for Christmas. And I suppose it's a good time. I take it you go somewhere warm as well, and then the weather tends to be not the best here, I suppose. So your customers don't mind. And also, I'd say after Christmas, someone would be happy not to pay for a window clean, if you get what I mean. So it's probably a good time to take a break and go on holiday as well, isn't it, really? And your customers don't mind. The windows sort of stay cleaner for longer with the rain that you get anyway. Oh, don't worry, Ched. You haven't missed much, mate. Just let us know about how much time you're taking off for Christmas, mate. Marcus, your Christmas tips are so bad now. I just write it off because the staff who can't work or bad weather, you should use it towards them. There's always 6, 7 rounds I never get to before Christmas, so I don't get tips because you didn't do it. Yeah, I see what you're saying, mate. Like I say, I never expect them, never do. And when it happens, it's like being a paper boy again, isn't it? You just feel excited. It's nice thought. Like, yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? And when you got people working for you, I'm lucky it's family members. You always got to think of paying them, haven't you? It's on your mind. Ched saying your last day was on the 19th and you're back on the 6th. Wow, that's a good break. That's sort of break I used to have in the military when you're UK based. Tends to be around the 19th or 20th, and then, like I say, back on the 4th or the 6th of Jan. I've been spoilt in the past with that. But for me, Ched, I'm just having the 24th, 25th, 26th off, and then I'll take New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. If the bank's that bad, I'll work New Year's Eve. That's what I've done most years. Maybe one year I'll get it right. But the good thing is, mate, me van, that passed its MOT on Thursday. One small advisory, which I got done, and it had a service. So I was happy with that. It's 500 quid cheaper than last year, put it that way. So I've got over that hurdle. So that's good for me, mate. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? You can't say how much time you're going to have off for Christmas a few months before neither. Because a lot can go wrong in a short space of time, I think, in our job, bit with window cleaning, or I suppose if you're in exterior cleaning, because it's weather depending. And if you have like a storm for a couple of weeks, that's going to hurt you if you can't work for 2 weeks, isn't it? And that sort of puts some of your plans at bay. But we'll see. Luckily as well this year so far, everything I put away each month into my tax fund, I've never had to dip into that so far this year. So I'll have more than enough to pay my tax bill. So I should have a little bit left over from that as well in April to bank on. But yeah, I mean, last Christmas, I did something because I had enough money and we'd booked it a couple of months in advance with a gin distillery. So we all got to make our own bottles of gin, my wife, me, Matthew and Sophie. That was really good. And it was nice to be able to afford to do that and class that as a Christmas do. Cheers, Jed. Yeah, it passed. Oh, you did work extra 2 weeks before, so you're ahead of your work really till next week. That's good. It's just nice to get ahead anyway, isn't it? And everyone is happy because they've got their cleaning before Christmas and their family coming round. So you've done well there, mate. Got all that well and take that time off. It's trying to get that work-life balance is what I've got to get better at, but unfortunately, bills come first. And then I like to have a buffer in the bank. And slowly building on it, it's going to get there. You just never know what the weather's going to be like, do you? Mark is saying you've got a lovely family from what I've seen, mate, and I'm sure they understand when you have to work. Yeah, thanks, mate. No, we're all good. We all live with each other, so we're all in the same house. And does well, really. And my customers say a lot of things about being good family business, that sort of thing. So it's nice, really. But when you're in the van and in the house all the time, we do have our little fallouts here and there. I'm not going to lie. But on the whole, we're fine. We get on. So, yeah, I think they always moan that I'm always working, but they also know I'm working because I have to. I don't just do it because I want to. You've got to make a living, haven't you? Things come first. I don't have many bills, so you don't need to earn loads. Yeah, I'm going to reduce my outgoings as well. I think I've got just under 2 years of a loan left. Get rid of that. That's going to make me a lot better off. And I've got 6 more months of paying off from a computer left. So the combination of them, I'll be a lot better off as well. So it'd be nice to get rid of them and then make sure I don't need to put any more on as well. Yeah, has anyone had any renewal quotes? I've had some come through. I'm going to let my public liability just renew itself. I'm with Simply Business. That's gone up. Sorry, it's me. Van insurance has gone up £3 a month, and Simply Business has gone up a couple of quid. But for Simply Business, it's cost me about £67, £69, something like that, for a year for £1 million. And I like Simply Business, so I'm going to stay with them. And with me van, I was going to shop round, but I'm happy to stay with who I'm with. That's also covering all my tools. £6,000 worth of kit in the back of the van is all covered as well. So that's all going to kick in 4th of January and auto renew itself. So it'll all be done. No mortgage or loans. I'd love to be in that position. Fortunately, I bought my house when I was just coming out of the military. So I'm going to be about 67 till my mortgage is cleared for my house. I think 60 something anyway. But it is what it is. Seems weird, doesn't it, that if you used to apply for a mortgage because you're self-employed, they look at your last 3 years, doesn't it? So it can be hard if you're setting out because they're not going to be the best years. But the stupid thing is you've been paying a certain amount on your mortgage and that anyway, so you can afford to do it, but they don't take that into account like that, do they? It's weird how it works. Paul's just saying, how did you get on with increasing your prices? I haven't increased them yet, Paul. I'm going to put them up in April, but what I'm doing now is going around when I clean each house. I'm just counting up the windows and all that sort of stuff and working out off my price structure if they're priced right or below. And then I'm adding on my percentage increase. So it's coming up with a figure. It's going to take me 2 months to cycle around the whole lot, or probably a bit more than that with the weather and time off for Christmas, that sort of thing. And then what will happen is the next time I go round, I'm going to start timing myself as well. So I've got my method of pricing the windows, but I'm also going to look at how long for that house. Because as we all know, you can have 2 houses that are the same layout, same windows and all that, but one might take longer than the other for some reason, for stuff you haven't really noticed. But when you look at it, like setting up and all that kind of stuff, or gates that got a funny way of opening, that sort of thing. So I'm going to take all that into account as well. So I get to feel what I think needs to go up more or less. So yeah, and I'm just going to do it as a one as well. Just beginning of April, everyone goes up. That's what I did the year before. I'm going to go for it that way. But we'll see, mate. People are expecting it because I haven't put them up. It would have been 2 years since the last one anyway. And I've already had people coming out saying, put your prices up because I want you to clean my windows. So they're scared, I suppose, if I have to pack up because I'm not putting my prices up enough. It means they've got to start the whole process of finding someone else, doesn't it? Paul's just saying he used a free app this week called Clocking to Time Your Jobs. Oh, that'd be interesting to look at. I'll have a look in the App Store for that, mate. In fact, I have a look round on here. Sorry, I'm just having I know what would be better than doing it that way. Because I use Squeegee, it's got a timer app on there. So I can do it within the Squeegee app while I'm working, and then it also records it for that job. So it's there to go off as well as save data, if that makes sense. Don't have too many drinks trying to say clocking off, do you? Paul, is that on like iOS or is it on Android? It's come up with some different timers, but it's not called clocking off. They've got other things. Yeah, I won't try and look for it. I'll just confuse people. Mark is saying you're getting a lot of the skips, people holding on to money for Christmas rather than paying you. Yep. Luckily, you got enough work to just move to the next, and your pal had 12 jobs booked in last Saturday, 5 of them skipped. Yeah, I wouldn't be happy. You could understand 1 or 2, I suppose, but 5, especially when it's not because there's building work, that sort of thing, because some things are beyond your customer's control, aren't they? Oh, it's on iOS, Paul. All right, cheers, mate. I'll have a look. That could be useful for anyone else who maybe doesn't have squeegee and you want to time it other than just using your timer on your phone. So I take it can track stuff as well. Talking of squeegee, how do you find the bank reconciliation? I find it fine, Ched, mate. It's pretty good. And it does learn some of the people when I've manually reconciled it next time round. It does remember, or it gives you a choice of a couple of people, but I always double check everything. So when I'm on squeegee, because I don't want to get it up on the screen because it'll have customer details on there. When you're doing it on your desktop, say, as regards to doing it on your phone, you can basically have your bank reconciliation bit open, and then I can click payments. So it'd be like a split screen. So I can copy and paste if I want to double check the bank details, put it in payment. I click it in there, and it will come up with the person's name because once you've done it, there's a record. So I always cross check that way, mate. And then I do the same again in Xero because that's what my accountant uses. So I'm kind of made more work for myself, essentially. But the bank reconciliation in Squeegee is quite good. It doesn't always show my bank balance as being exactly what's in the bank. There is a slight little, but I don't use it for that. I just use it to keep track of who's paid me and who hasn't. And Squeegee is really good for that. So I find the bank reconciliation good. Also, because when you click a customer, if they've got them set up for Go Cardless, it will automatically have them as paid as well. And then when the money gets transferred into your bank account, I reconcile that because I've also got a bank account for Go Cardless and Stripe. So anything that's been paid from that, I say it's been coming in from that bank account into my business bank account, which is a current account, by the way. And it does it that way. So yeah, I find it good, mate. All right, window washer. No worries, Ched. So yeah, I found it. I could do that without having the bank reconciliation as well. But I've got it because I went up the next level, and I got it partly for that as well. I just find it easy as well for Squeegee because that's what I use to keep track of where I am in my round, organising it all, and who's paid and who owes me money. And you can, like I say, I put down the it will save the bank details and it will kind of remember it. But I still double check if that makes sense. And when you got it on your desktop, it's easy. You can have, like I say, both screens, whereas on your phone, you'll only have one. So you're chopping from one to the other. It's just easier to do it on your desktop when you're doing your reconcile stuff. But obviously, if you're on a bus or something, you're just going to do it on your phone, aren't you? But I do it every day. Sometimes before I go to bed, I just do a quick check. And if I'm up early enough, I do a quick check as well. So I like to be 100% on it. That way, if anyone asks Teresa, my wife, any questions, she can just look on Squeegee and it's automatically up to date. It's also good as well because I know that's when someone's paid me extra. And sometimes some people pay you twice because they don't realise you've got an automatic payment set up. Normally, like the husband won't realise, and then he's done a bank transfer as well. So I get in touch and say, look, you've paid me twice and give you a refund, that sort of thing. It is good, mate. So yeah, has anyone else got any questions or anything to talk about? And I just thought I'd have a general chit chat as well, because obviously last week I didn't do a live, and this is going to be the last one really before Christmas, isn't it? And by the sounds of things, everyone's got it sorted and everyone's looking forward to some time off. Some of you got it sorted and some of you like me, who's just got a couple of days off working, couple of days off and then work again. But like you said, we get time off when the weather's bad as well. And that's when I'm out there fixing. I was playing around, or got my son, and I was telling him what to do on our electric reels because my chain come off one day about 4 times. So I spoke to X-Line, and basically there's some bolts to undo. There's a backing plate, slide it, make sure it's slid down. And what it does is it's tensioning the chain that way. I took the chain off the cogs first when you do it. And then when I'd done that, it solved my problem. If it didn't work, the next thing would have been a new chain because they can stretch. But that's something I'd probably have to get them to fix. I won't take apart an electric reel to do that. I would get it all wrong. So it fixed that job, and I got my son to do it on his as well, just to retension that. Because sometimes when he pulls his hose and when he stops, the reel keeps turning, so it's spooling off hose, and then it can get caught and stuff. So it makes him slow at setting up because he's trying to avoid that. But now when it's tensioned right, I say, look, you can just grab it and go, and he won't over spool now. So that was worth fiddling around with. But it's not often you get the time off for that. So I'm just trying to catch up on the comments. Oh, clocking is what it's called, not clocking off. Right, I got you, mate. Thank you. That'll be good for everyone else as well. Oh, yeah, we talked about that one. Right, there we are. Yeah, it's just me taking my eye off and panicking, thinking there's a load of comments come flying in. Silly me. Okay, stream health is good so far, so the wind round here is not too bad. It seems a lot more windier tonight. I don't know about you lot, than what it was during the day, and that is what my weather app said. But tomorrow I should be all right to work, but I'll find that one out when I get up in the morning. Hopefully it still can work. But yeah, could be worse. Could have all be putting heaters in our vans tonight and stuff like that, but we're not. Hi mate, you all right, Tony? Welcome to the live. Cheers, buddy. Oh, you all right, Dave? You've done your first month on the water-fed pole. Was good. Does a much better job on the windows, and the frames look great. Lost 2 customers, but you'll take that. Yeah, and if I remember right, you're converting everyone, aren't you, on your rounds from traditional over to the water-fed pole? So that's good, isn't it? It is something I've always thought I'd worry about. It's no different starting window cleaning, is it, from the beginning and you've never done it, or you're an established window cleaner and you're going to change methods. It's funny that the worries you've got are exactly the same, really. But yeah, I'm glad you think it does a better job as well. And you was getting some rundowns, wasn't it, on a couple of customers' notice? But like we were saying, and everyone else is saying, that's normal for the first 2 to 3 cleans. I always tell them, and then it'll be gone because what you get with the little rubber seal sometimes. Not on them all. It just depends how old they are and what's behind them, or if they've perished a bit. But yeah, it's probably a good time to do it now as well, because in the summer you'll find the windows are going to be a lot different level of dirtiness to now, because you're going to have all, as you know, with your traditional stuff, all the bug stuff on the glass. So still keep hold of your scraper tool, mate, and putting scrapers on a pole for the top windows for the bird crap and that sort of stuff. That sort of stuff that you've done before will come in great as well. And it's good. You're getting to learn and trust your kit. It is really good. And like you say, you probably find up it's a lot faster as well, mate. So yeah, well done on you getting through a whole month as well. At least that, like you say, you can tick off. You can relax a bit now, can't you? The window wash is saying, are many people doing their own tax returns? I've been doing my own, but you're tempted to see an accountant, or maybe to save you some tax. That's a good question, mate. I've never done a tax return myself. Day one, I got an accountant, and I used Zero on day one, and he told me that's what they use. So he's allowed to nip in and out of my account. I've given him permission or set him up so he can do that. So when he does all my tax stuff, all the info's there for him. And really, I think any accountant, the way it's explained to me, if you've got a good accountant, the money he will save you will probably be the money you'll use to pay him for doing his job. and obviously they know more about how to claim expenses than probably we are, and probably do a better job than me, definitely. Anyway, so I use an accountant, but at the end of the day, whether you use an accountant or not, you're still the one responsible for it, aren't you? So when you sign stuff, the accountant's not going to get done for it if he's done something wrong. It's still you. But honestly, mate, I've been doing 7 years. I've used an accountant, and I haven't got no worries, no quibs whatsoever. I just get the figures, and I'm happy. You send me stuff to sign, done, and they keep track of it all. If anyone else got anything to say, to let the window washer know. Tony's just saying, is anyone working the next 2 days? I'm working tomorrow, mate. Me personally, Monday. And I know there's a couple of us doing the same, and they're taking the time off from the 24th. You're probably seeing some of the comments on here. Some people have took time off, like Ted's gone from the 19th. Ted's saying as well, an accountant should help you reduce your tax bill by knowing the stuff. Yeah, like you've all the other things they can claim as expenses, like some of it's done percentagely, isn't it? Like your van, claiming for water because you're making water at home, it's using your electric. They'll even know that you can use something as an office space. They'll know lots of stuff. So they'll probably save, like Ted saying, more money than what I would be on my own. Yeah, you're just saying thank you, got that. Like I said, the money he saves you will probably cover the money he's going to charge you anyway. And it's getting your time back, isn't it? Saying, call me crazy, but my work is 50% trad, 50% water-fed pole. So you decide which to do according to your job. I wouldn't say it's crazy, mate. I did have a couple of houses that I used to do solely trad, and I didn't mind doing them. I'm not like nowhere near going to be good as someone who's done traditional for years. And I like to do something a bit different. Trad's a bit more therapeutic, I find. And you got lots to think about. And it's just nice when you got the knack, but it's really annoying when you lose the knack of something you was normally going all right, and all of a sudden you kind of like messing up, and it gets frustrating. And then you get it back, and you're happy again. And I wouldn't say you're crazy. Like I said, I've got trad kit in my van as well as my water-fed pole, and I think window cleaners should be able to do both. To be honest, and let's face it as well, I think even those of us who do water-fed pole only, you're still using methods traditional window cleaners would use to clean the windows, like your scraping tool and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's crazy, mate. And I'm probably not just, you probably don't decide just on what you think job to job. It's also probably how you're feeling at the time, isn't it? Tony's saying as well, I paid £250 last year for the accountant. Is that about right, mate? I'd say that's really good. It's so that's very good. I think mine's normally nearly £1,000. Might be just over, I think, for the accountant bill. But I think the more work he does, the more he's going to charge you, isn't he? And obviously, I've got my kids, 2 of them, and my wife. So there's 4 of us self-employed as a sole trader partnership. So that's probably why mine's a lot. And I suppose if you times that figure, 250 by 4, it's probably about right, isn't it? Thinking of it like that way. Dave's saying, yeah, it is definitely a worry, but the value the customers are getting with the frames and in the corners are perfect. Some loved it, and they realise how much better. Oh, brilliant! So that's like a really good relief, isn't it? And it just reinforces the trust they already had in you, if that makes sense. And if they've never seen it before as well, they'll be kind of like, wow. And like I say, when you get to show them what your van and what your investment and the money that's gone into it, someone will be really amazed as well. Okay, Tony's just replying to some, and Ched saying 250 for sole trade is good. And so he's saying double because he's got a partnership, 2 tax returns. And like I said, mine's nearly 1,000. There's 4 of us. So that's probably about right then when you kind of cuff it like that, isn't it? But yeah, that's good. Good, Dave. Well happy for you, mate. And as if you've noticed it as well, you know what I mean? And your customers will probably realise it will stay cleaner for longer. I don't know if you tried putting your finger on the windows after you've cleaned it, Dave, as well, and you realise your finger doesn't glide across the glass when it's all dry because there's no film on there from your like fairy liquid or anything like that, which is why I think the windows stay a bit cleaner for longer. And then with the rain coming down there, it's like an extra rinse sometimes. It's just this wind and it depends how it all gets buggered up. But yeah, you must be happy then. You've got all that done. Your customers are happy. You're a lot happier in yourself and your worries start to go away. So you'll start to enjoy it more. And you must love not having to keep going up and down them ladders then. Because that's not easy all the time, is it? In fact, is when I was any traditional jobs I was doing, it's the ladders sort of slow me down because I didn't have proper window cleaning ladders. So you might have to move it 2 times on one window, for example, depending on its size. Whereas with them window cleaning ones, they look really perfect. Chez just saying, have a Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2025, everyone. So I've got to go. Yeah. And you, Ched, have a good one, mate. Have a nice Christmas break. And then hopefully the new year's great for everyone as well. So take care, mate. Thanks for popping in. So yeah, hopefully that's made you think about getting an accountant as well, rather than doing tax return yourself. I'm not that clever to do it myself, and I'd rather go for an accountant anyway because I know he'd save me more money, definitely for sure. Marcus saying, still get customers you've done with water-fed poles for years that ask me, aren't you going to dry it off? Yeah. I think you normally find if it's a husband and wife, isn't it? One of them understands of it and one of them doesn't. Or if it's the same person, you start to wonder if they got dementia or something like that, don't you? Because it's sad when you see these things happen. But yeah, luckily I don't get many because luckily for me, I think most people have used a window cleaner who's used water fed pole before or they've seen it being done. But I have had a couple where they didn't want to use me to start with because someone else cleaned the windows once and it was really spotting. And I explained why, but I didn't want to explain too hard because it sounds like I'm trying to force a sale. But luckily, because all the neighbours around them were happy, after a couple of months, they just come out and ask, could I clean their windows? And I said, no problem. So I got them anyway. Just it works that way, doesn't it? And then I've only had one phone us back and it's only done half a job because the windows are all wet. And we did try and explain to you, but this is how it works. And I just said, look, leave it. Check in the morning. If there's a problem, let me know. And they said, no, everything's fine. So we kind of laughed about that. Dave saying, I don't know if the hot water makes a difference. Yeah, I was just thinking, I think you've got hot water, but it's nice in the hands. I bet it is. I haven't had hot water, so my hands are cold touching the pole with my gloves on. It's like holding ice, so I can only imagine what it's like. Pole gets a little warm. That'd be nice. You're taking a mick now. 30 years doing trad. I won't miss that ladder. I think as well, it'd probably be a couple of months of not using your ladder so much. And then when you get the ladder off the van, you realise how slow you are getting the ladder and walking around compared to what you used to do because you're doing it day in, day out. But yeah, you need your ladders, so keep them on your van, mate. Come in handy as well for if you've got a vac. You still need ladders on some jobs. And you still need your ladders, don't you, to get sometimes over the odd accidentally locked gate or to access a window on top of a garage roof, that sort of thing. So still come in handy, buddy. Probably get a little bit bigger now because you're not burning off so many calories because the water-fed bowl makes life a lot easier. Still surprising what you burn off though, and your arms and shoulders ache a bit. Respect your neck as well because you're constantly looking up a bit more. But your body will get used to it until you reach a certain age and it starts to ache. That's what I'm finding. If I had a hot water system, I'd do more, fascia soffits and gutters and all that because it melts through the dirt. That's another good thing with the hot water, isn't it? And you're not then paying out for a chemical to make your life easier. The hot water does it. And like I said, and if you get the frost stat in there as well, so you got the benefit of that of keeping your van warm without having to keep an eye on the weather to put out your heaters. I'd love a hot water system, so I'm dead jealous of you, Dave. I know what you mean, facials. Did you say facials or something? Yeah. It's predictive text. Happens to us all. Everyone's got these good images now. Yeah. So that would be on my bucket list. Preferably during next year, I would love to be able to get a hot water system. I definitely would. And Sophie probably during the year at some point, she'll probably move up to Scotland. So it'd just be me and Matthew working from the van. And a 2-person hot water system would be great. But you can never plan really, can you? You just got to roll with life sometimes. You have a loose plan, just kind of go with it, go with the flow. It's just easier, isn't it? And see what happens. You never know. Could even get a second van, but it'll probably just be the one van and me and Matthew in the end. And then on the really big jobs, obviously, my wife with the other car, she'll turn up with Rachel and David on the really busy days, which we do once a month. Or any inside jobs, we normally have an inside and outside team. Makes them jobs go quick as well. Dave's saying as well, it's not much faster at the minute, but you're over cleaning on the first clean. Oh, over cleaning, yeah. Mate, I've been doing it for about 6 years and I'm still over cleaning on a maintenance clean. You kind of get in a habit, if you get what I mean. Because I don't want any callbacks. Because you're doing like different rounds, different days. You don't want to mess it up. But it sounds like you're getting over it a lot quicker than I was. Like I say, definitely this year, after the lads here have pointed things out to me, it's amazing what a difference in time taking it takes. But it's like I say to my son, it's not really rocket science. Just look at the window, and if it's dirty, clean it. And when it's clean, finish cleaning it. That's it. But it's just getting the confidence on the normal maintenance clean of saying it's clean and where you can go over it quite quickly. But it's not all about speed, really, is it? It's about doing a thorough job. And yes, speed does come into it a bit here and there and everything else. And you're speeding up, packing away, setting out, not talking too long to your customers. But, you know, some of them are on their own, aren't they? And I don't mind a chat here and there. Summertime's always bad because everyone's out in the gardens and stuff. And they've got time to chat to you. But it's good. It's good knowing your customers, I think, and your customers knowing you and your family. And the other, just when you notice something's different out of the normal pattern of life, you know, to go and knock on the neighbour's door, didn't you? And it kind of is nice when you've noticed something's different and you've had like the presence of mind to go and knock on the door and say, I'm a bit concerned, but then they give you the answer, you're like, oh, that explains that. Everyone's happy. And then, yeah, everyone thinks it's nice. Because I always hate to think I'm knocking on the door when someone's normally in, they're not, but they're laying the other side on the floor. And I could have been the one that made a difference rather than just thinking, oh, they're not in and doing one. You know, if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. So, and I know what neighbours knock on the door because you know what one's got a spare key, that sort of thing. Because when you chat to your customers. Dom saying hot water does look good, but it's expensive. Looking forward to your review of a hot water system. Or it'll probably be at least a year or two, I think, until I do a review on one of them. But yeah, it would be great. I definitely would like one. I don't think it's a necessity, but I do think when you've got it, you'll think, oh my God. Or that's the impression I want, and people use the hot water all year round because of the benefits it brings as well, not just for the winter. So yeah, I'd love one. You've got the one with the frost, yeah, and frost protection, blows out the hot air, yeah. And like you say, you don't have to worry about the cold nights. That's what I was saying. You can go to bed and it's not like you get up one morning as ice everywhere and think, oh no, because you've been caught out by the weather. See, your evenings are a bit more chilled, aren't they? This thing just does it automatically, does a job for you. You don't have to do that messing around. I'd definitely love a hot water system. And I think it's worth it because when you look at it, how much they say for a day it costs over the hours it's on, it's not that much more really. And if it's something that makes your cleans go a little bit quicker, it's all tipping the scales in your favour, isn't it? So I think it's worth it, even though I haven't got one. I'd love one, but I wouldn't do a DIY version. I'm not that good at sort of stuff like that. I would buy something to be installed in the van. So my X-Line kit, I'd like probably at the moment anyway, an X-Line hot water system, and I'd get them to install it. I would not attempt to do anything like that myself. I just like it to work, forget about it, does its thing. And I know with the X-Line ones, they have it connected to your fuel tank as well. So you've not got like a separate container of fuel in the back of the van. But I suppose that depends on what your van is and where things are, if it's doable, I suppose. But I know that's what they tend to go for. You're just saying you've had neck ache, put a thick scarf on to rest your head when you're looking up. It won't work in the summer, no. But hopefully by then, mate, you got used to it. What you could do is play around with the angles of your gooseneck. So if it's not at a too much steep angle, it's a bit more shallower, all you've got to do is stand further back away from the windows of the house, so to speak, and then you might find the angle of your neck is not looking up so high. That might lower, that might make a little bit of a difference as well. But you'll get used to it. It's surprising, isn't it, looking up all the time. Just think kids looking down at the phones and window cleaners are looking up at the windows. Marcus just saying, think of me when I'm going to the van at 12 a.m. with a duvet and hot water bottles for the equipment. Yeah, or 2 o'clock in the morning because you suddenly woke up and realised, oh no. Yeah, we've all done it. But yeah, I'd definitely love a hot water system, that's for sure. Something I've got some footage, but I need more of that Tough Connect that I got sent out by Rutex Designs, which is really good of them. And so far, it's been no problem at all. And I'm going to do a review on it. I've got to work out. I'm sure it's been over a month because I said I'll maybe do a review after a month and one after 6 months. So that's something I've been planning to do because I've been trying to get the work done before it's dark. And at the same time, I'm going around counting windows and pricing things up in my head and making notes down. So when we have our discussion of the prices going up for each individual customer, it's sort of like made me a bit short on time, so a bit panicky with the work we got. But yeah, well, I'm going to get a bit more footage and then I'll try and make a video sat here in the evenings, like on my computer that way. And there was something else I was going to do. Oh, with that Thermopro little thermometer I've got in the back of the van. But I haven't had to put a heater in yet so far. So yeah, I'll definitely have a look at the Tough Connect anyway. That's been quite good. I don't think anyone, if you use a slick connector, I don't think there's any major it's better than, but it's definitely not anything major. It's not as good as. But I do like the Tough Connect. It's been a good little thing. I haven't got anything to complain about that. So look out for that one. It could be probably something I'll end up doing around the Christmas where I've got a couple of days off. If I'm not too involved in getting everything ready for Christmas, I could kind of make that up. Well, I've been nearly going for an hour, so I suppose it's time to think about wrapping it up. Let everyone have their time off and start enjoying Christmas. And if you're working tomorrow, have a safe one. And then have your Christmas break. And those who have already started, you should be drinking beer. And I've got plenty of chocolate given to me as tips as well. So I've got lots of little selection tins around the family. So we're probably going to get quite fat over Christmas and the New Year. Well, everyone's going to anyway, so I might as well eat them. So yeah, we've got those to tuck into, which is nice. See what movies are on, eh? The kids have been watching the old Christmas ones because they love it all. I'm like Scrooge. But yeah, so I'll close it soon. I'll start winding down. Everyone have a good one. Have a nice time with your families and all that. That's what it's all about. Yeah, we're all lucky enough to, so make use of it, really. Mark is saying as well, have your break, lads. Don't forget to check for the power cables. That's it, yeah, on the new jobs and quotes. So, yeah, as everyone keeps saying, always look up. It's easily done when you don't, or you're under pressure for time, isn't it? We've all done silly things and caught a wire. And luckily, it hasn't ended up being that bad. But it just shows you how easy it's done. So, good reminder. I know things are cold, but you don't want to warm yourself up that way. Good God. So, yeah, have a nice one, everyone. And see you probably after Christmas or even in the new year. And I'll try and make a video about the Tough Connect anyway, my thoughts on it so far. So, have a good one. Take care. Try and get the right button. And yeah, I'll call it a night. Thanks for watching.